Time now for Dollars and Cents, where I answer your money questions and help you navigate a changing economy. It might not come as a shock that Californians had the highest grocery bills in the country, averaging nearly $300 a week. A new report from the U.S. Census shows your race and education level might factor into how much you spend on food. But there's a story behind those numbers you'll want to hear.
There's definitely going to be different cultural elements that come into play.
A recent survey by the U.S. Census shows Americans of Hispanic or Latino ethnicity report the highest average weekly spending on groceries at around $325 a week. Also, people with less than a high school education report the highest average spending level of $320 per week. Both of those numbers are higher than the national average of just under $300 a week. To understand the story behind these numbers, I sat down with Keith Taylor, an economics professor at UC Davis, to get a closer look at the data, which show race and education can influence how much you spend.
I imagine in some households where they're buying more groceries, they might be lower income and they're not eating out as often. So what you're seeing reflected in some of those bills might be a reflection of folks not going out to eat.
Here's another way to think about it. Eating at home gives you more bang for your buck.
When it comes to cost savings, groceries are by far going to be cheaper than eating out.
And the content of your grocery list matters.
When you do get groceries, you can control what goes into your pan, your pots, and whatnot. And so you can eat healthier, you can eat more nutritious. If you go to a restaurant and you're trying to eat healthier and more nutritious, it's going to cost a little bit more. So there are trade-offs in this for sure. Just because people are spending more on groceries doesn't mean that it's a negative thing per se.
Many of you tell me stubbornly high grocery prices are still such a drain on your budget. According to the California Legislative Analyst's Office, prices remain about 20% higher overall since 2020. In fact, the Federal Reserve at the start of this month said inflation is still so high it doesn't plan to cut interest rates just yet.
One of the excuses we're hearing from the grocery chains is that they've had to increase their cost in order to offset the challenges of the supply chain. But there's some economists that are calling a greedflation coming into play here.
Oh, greedflation?
Greedflation.
Oh, what's that about?
So what's occurring, according to the allegations of some of these economists, is that against the backdrop of the supply chain crisis, a lot of these big companies are using this as an excuse to goose their corporate profits along the way.
As a result, shoppers are fighting back. Research shows during these high inflation times, more people are focusing their spending on basics instead of luxury or non-essential items, shifting their spending from name brands to store brands.
About budgeting, it's going to be about clever ways to do food storage and food preparation in order to make your dollar go further.
Yeah, there's so much to this topic. Just send me your dollars and cents questions or story ideas by scanning the QR code on your screen. You can also find all my dollars and cents reports on our website, abc10.com. But Chris, really bottom line, if you make a budget and stick to it, that is a good plan to winning.
And I was going to say, too, you could do a whole segment on that greedflation that he brought up, right? A conversation around what folks are dealing with really all across the area.
Yep, indeed.
Of course, you can always read more on abc10.com. But